Welcome to your Daily 5. I'm Bruce Fraser, your host, where we look at 5 great charts in 10 short minutes. This is for Monday, July 27th. And here is our first chart. And this is a review. This is the NASDAQ 100 Index daily chart. Beautiful trend upward from the March lows with an overbought condition occurring late in the uptrend. Well, this overbought condition occurred as a point and figure count was being fulfilled. So we had a throw over, a climax, a point and figure count fulfillment. That's a trifecta of important conditions that create probably one of two things: a reaccumulation out into the future for another move up, or potentially distribution for some kind of a further move down. At this time, we can see that the NASDAQ 100 has in fact returned back into its channel, which shows that it is exhausted in the uptrend. You can read more about this on this blog, NASDAQ 100 throwover from July 16th. Also, you can look at it here where we have the two important videos: Wyckoff method checklist for a peak on June 12th, and then market analysis the Wyckoff way on June 26th. And this shows a climactic action in the indexes of the S&P 500 and the Dow. And so you can see that there's a series of progressions of climactic behaviors as we've gone into and through the end of the second quarter. Okay, moving on, because we don't have a lot of time, here is Apple. Fascinating chart. Here is the trend channel off the March lows. You can see it's a converging channel with two important peaks. One created two important trend lines here and here, and also a trend line that's made on this point and this point. Well, look, we've broken down that channel at this point in time. And there's also, I like to look at Chaikin money flow as sort of external indicator of volume. And you can see that as Apple has pushed up into the 400 area with a couple of tails here that you can see, Chaikin money flow has actually gone slightly negative. Now, this is occurring at a peak. We had Chaikin money flow slightly negative at the March-April lows, which was not alarming or troubling, and it went into a bullish mode shortly thereafter and has been leadership. But here recently, it has shown some weakness. So the other thing that is fascinating with Apple is this point and figure chart. Two reaccumulation counts here. And I'm going to talk more about this chart in power charting on Friday, but I'll just give you the high points of this. Is that there's a count here in this reaccumulation in 2018 that goes 428, 454. Very impressive, because this is in the area of around 140 to 160 where this count was made. Big volatile count. And then it was confirmed here, another reaccumulation count that confirmed the larger count. Both of these are matching each other at this rising trend line. Look at this trend line that comes in at around the 420 plus area. Currently, Apple is just below 400, but showing a little bit of weakness. So earnings are coming. It could very well be that earnings could give that final push up into this area, but there's two big counts that are near being fulfilled. So we'll keep an eye on that. But for the time being, we're thinking that the trend is up for Apple, at least for the short term. Here is Google. So you can tell here we're looking at the FANG stocks. These are the big cap stocks that are leading the NASDAQ 100, which we saw appears to be in the throes of some kind of a climactic structure here. So now with Google, very interesting chart. We've drawn this on 3 points, which we put boxes around these. Reverse use of trend line, attempts to throw over, but rides along this trend line for the duration. Now we have a throw over, overbought after, look at this beautiful touch on the parallel oversold line. Beautiful touch, which produces a great buying signal for a rally. Now we're overbought and throwing over here and testing it here back into the channel. That's interesting. Now the Chaikin money flow, which you can't see here, is still positive. So Google we would look at as being potentially still in an important uptrend. But we're going to watch this because it does seem to be holding its trend channel. Chart number 4 is Facebook. Very interesting chart. Beautiful uptrend. Goes to a new high. Once it gets to a new high here, it goes into some kind of a range-bound structure. Could be reaccumulation for higher prices. At this point, we can see beautiful throw over of the trend channel. Point is made here and here. Oversold line here. Some nice touches along the way. And now we have a buying climax, automatic reaction, range-bound condition. Here's a beautiful secondary test, big sign of weakness, and an upthrust of sorts here with a test back into the channel. So Facebook looks as though it wants to remain range-bound for a period of time here. And so we will watch this closely for signs of absorption to tell us that reaccumulation is poised to begin a new uptrend. Otherwise, we'll be thinking about distribution. But for now, the trend is our friend. Chart number 5, Netflix. And so here you can see this is a classic stay-at-home stock with a beautiful trend line here and here, which goes all the way back into 2019, early 2020. And so the trend line has a giant buying climax throw over right here in July. And then also there's a steeper trend line with points here and here. And this one produces a buying climax, overbought condition. And then look at the reaction that we have gotten. This reaction has gone all the way back down to this normal use of trend lines. We're calling this an automatic reaction, and we are thinking that this is a range-bound condition, but we will watch to see whether or not Netflix can get back up towards this reverse use of trend lines, which has been in force for a really long time, and whether or not distribution is being formed. So Netflix is interesting, but we're not done yet. We have a bonus chart. And so here, let's look at Microsoft and the First Trust Dow Jones Internet Index. So you can see here with Microsoft, classic throw over, overbought condition in the uptrend. Look at these great touches here along the way. These are all really good touches of the oversold line. And now we've touched it again. It's attempting to go back up. Steeper trend line here. Couldn't stay above the steeper, failed on a test here and went below this. So we're going to watch closely to see how Microsoft reacts when and if it can get back up to this trend line again. So climax, test, back into the channel and below this long-term trend line. So this is going to be very interesting to watch Microsoft. So you can see that there's some conditions here at work in these FANG stocks that are interesting and possibly a sign of exhaustion. And with that, we are going to end. I'm going to leave you with this chart here of the Dow Jones Internet Index. Enjoy it, and we will talk about it in Power Charting on Friday. And this is your Daily 5. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.
Hey, Grayson Rose here with StockCharts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, consider giving it a like down below, maybe leave us a comment, and if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe at the link up above. We're gonna bring you daily content from an incredible collection of technical analysts and financial experts.